Have you ever felt like a small boat adrift in a raging ocean, where every wave of criticism, every gust of uncertainty threatens to sink you? We spend our lives building defensive walls and solid shells, yet they prove surprisingly fragile against a single harsh word or an unexpected event. But what if peace isn't about building walls, but about becoming the water, fluid and invulnerable? Thousands of years ago, the Buddha saw a simple yet profound truth. Suffering does not come from the outside world, but from how we receive it. He likened the words and actions of others to an arrow. The arrow can cause a wound, but the real pain comes from the poison we apply to the wound ourselves: attachment, resentment, and fear. We often unknowingly allow others to control our emotions, making them the gatekeepers of our own peace. Consider a parable. A Zen master owned a precious clay pot. Every day, he would clean and care for it like a treasure. One day, a disciple accidentally dropped the pot, and it shattered into many pieces. Everyone was distraught, but the Zen master simply smiled and said, "I never truly owned this pot. I was merely its caretaker." The disciple's action was like an arrow, but the teacher's serenity blocked the poison of suffering. The first lesson of Buddhism is not to become emotionless, but to understand that we cannot be harmed without our permission. It is absolute freedom. When we realize this truth, we are no longer victims of others' judgment or anger. We become the master of our own mind, deciding what is allowed to enter the garden of our inner self. The practice of mindfulness and meditation are the tools that help us clean this garden, recognizing the seeds of fear and gently removing them, leaving behind only stillness and self-possession. Once you have learned to protect your inner garden, the next question is, how can you live in this world without building walls? The second lesson of the Buddha is to see everyone as a teacher. This may sound contradictory. Why should you learn from the very people who hurt you? Think of a calm lake. When a foreign object falls into it, the surface creates ripples. These ripples are not created by the lake itself, but are the lake's reaction to the object. Similarly, an angry or arrogant person appearing in your life isn't there to cause trouble, but to expose the reactions and hidden weaknesses in your own heart. Their anger is the object. Your patience or frustration are the ripples. The story of the Zen master and the market is a profound reminder. That bustling market is not just a physical space, but a metaphor for our own lives. Every encounter, every interaction, whether it's a vendor's generosity or a child's crying, reflects some aspect of ourselves. The kind ones teach us about compassion and generosity. The difficult ones teach us about patience and self-mastery. The indifferent ones teach us about independence and self-reliance. Instead of closing ourselves off, we open our hearts and realize that every person we meet is a teacher, offering a vital lesson we need to learn. In this way, we no longer defensively avoid scary people or only seek out good ones. We transform every encounter into a classroom, and the whole world becomes our greatest school. The greatest suffering comes from our struggle against the flow of life. We try to control what cannot be controlled, from what others think of us to what the future holds. The third lesson of Buddhism is not to give up, but to let go of control. Imagine your life is a river. You are in a boat, and you are trying to row upstream to hold on to a past moment, a relationship that ended, an opportunity that was lost, an old self-image. Your strength will be exhausted, and suffering will take over. Meanwhile, The river continues to flow toward the ocean, carrying all that has happened. Letting go is not indifference. It is the acceptance that you cannot control the current, but you can steer your boat. You can row with the flow, flexibly navigating unexpected rapids, and find peace in harmonizing with reality. Consider this story. A man had lost his beloved wife. He was consumed by grief, sitting by her grave day after day. A Zen master came to him and said, "You are trying to hold on to a cloud that has already dissolved. Let go and look up at the sky. You will see the beauty of the universe." Letting go is not about forgetting, but about freeing ourselves from the burden of the past. It allows us to live fully in the present, appreciate what we have, and move toward the future unburdened by what has been. We often think that happiness is something we must chase, a chest filled with material wealth or great achievements. But the fourth lesson of the Buddha points out that happiness is not something to seek, but something that is already within us. Imagine you are carrying an empty chest on your shoulders. You go everywhere, trying to fill it with praise, recognition, money, and insatiable desires. The fuller the chest gets, the heavier the burden on your shoulders becomes. And when an item falls out, you suffer. Gratitude is when you realize that your chest was never empty. It has always been full of small, simple, yet priceless things. The breath you take each morning, the warmth of the sun, the taste of a good meal, and the existence of your loved ones. A beggar, in a moment of gratitude, can feel happier than a king. Because happiness lies not in what we have, but in how we appreciate what we have. Gratitude is not just an emotion, but a habit of the mind. It is like breathing. A simple, continuous act that helps us survive and thrive. Every day, take a few minutes to breathe deeply and list the things you are grateful for. You will realize how full your chest already is. Practicing gratitude is not about denying hardship, but about counterbalancing it. When the winds of life blow, gratitude helps us stand firm, because we know we still have our core values. When we talk about ethics, we often think of strict rules and limiting boundaries, but the Buddha showed that ethical living is not a confinement, but a liberation. This fifth lesson teaches us that ethics are the solid foundation for serenity. Think of a bamboo stalk. It is not as rigid as an oak tree, yet it can survive the strongest storms. When the wind blows, the bamboo does not resist. It bends with the wind. Its strength does not come from its stiffness, but from its flexibility and its deep roots in the earth. Those roots are its ethics. Ethical living, according to Buddhism, is about building a firm foundation of honesty, compassion, and respect. When we speak the truth, we don't have to worry about hiding a lie. When we act with kindness, we don't carry the burden of regret or resentment. This way of living helps our minds become clear and tranquil. It's not a list of prohibitions, but a compass, helping us make the right choices, not only for ourselves but for everyone around us. An ethical person is a free person. They are not tied down by the negative consequences of their actions. They can stand firm in any storm, because they know that no matter how strong the wind blows, their roots remain steadfast. Finally, all these lessons lead to the sixth and final lesson: becoming the water. Water does not resist obstacles. It flows around them, seeping through every crack. Water does not hold the shape of anything, but merely adapts temporarily before continuing to flow. This does not mean water is weak. On the contrary, It is one of the most powerful forces on earth. Life will always have its changes, its suffering, its losses. But peace is not in stopping them, but in merging with their flow. Like water, accept change, let go of control, and find strength and flexibility. When a challenge appears, take a deep breath and ask yourself, can I be the water? By applying these 6 answers, you not only learn to survive, but to live a fulfilling life. You are no longer a small, lost boat, but the vast ocean itself, containing everything without being shaken. You are no longer a fragile clay pot, but the water, fluid and invulnerable. You don't have to seek peace on the outside, because it has always been within you.